Hey guys. Oh, losing my voice today. Sorry. Hey you guys, it's your girl Dominique. Y'all know I just come to give some positive words, okay? So I was torn in between the two on today's message, right? Like I didn't know if I wanted to go with the Burger King blessing. I know y'all probably like, where's this girl going with the message today? Or if I wanted to go with knowing where you've been called to serve. So I believe I'm gonna stick with knowing where you've been called to serve. For my people that like watching my content, if you like one of those quick videos, you probably don't want to watch today's because I may be talking a little bit in today's video. So if you like videos where people talk, you'll like this content. If you're like, it's been 2 seconds, you didn't grab my attention, I'm sorry, just one for you today, sis, or one for you, bro. But staying on topic with today's word, I guess we're gonna go with it being knowing where you've been called to serve, okay? Knowing where you've been called to serve is what we'll call today's word. So a little bit about me, y'all. Okay, so my first job ever, I worked for my cousin, and I just used to, come in kind of like as a summer gig, or just when she needed me to come over to her house, and she would pay me to clean her house. So that was literally like my first job. But my first job on paper, like in the system, was actually at Burger King. Yes, believe it or not, my first job was at Burger King. So let me tell y'all about the blessing and the wisdom out of this story, okay? So I'm from the country. I'm from the country, meaning like you gotta drive at least 25 minutes or 30 minutes to get to the nearest town, right? Now we do have like a small town that's closer, to my hometown, where it has small things like, a gas station, grocery store. I think we have a car wash and something else. Like I think there's a place where you can get your prescription, like, or whatever. But it's super small. We're limited to what we have in my hometown, right? So if you want like a job, or if you want to, have more variety of food or certain things, you have to drive like at least 25 to 30 minutes to get there, right? So my mom and we would travel to one of the other towns that I would say about 30 to 35 minutes away from my hometown, right? And as soon as you would come into this town, you would see a Burger King that was to the left. So one day my mom and I was coming through this town, right? And I was like, Mom, stop by Burger King. I want to fill out an application. And my mom was like, why are you filling out, why do you want to fill out an application and you ain't even got no car? See, teenagers, y'all probably done already picked up on the game. I was finessing the system. I had already finessed my mom out of getting me a cell phone. I think I had joined like the basketball team because I'm like, Mom, like, I'm on the basketball team. I got to be able to call you. I got to be able to stay connected with you, right? So I done finessed my mama to give me a cell phone. So now I was like, I'm finna finesse her and give me a car. I'm finna get a job. So kids are probably like, yeah, we already know. But anyway, I was like, Mama, we don't live too far away, so you can just take me back and forth to work. But I already knew I was going to end up getting a car because she was going to get tired of taking me. So I go, into Burger King. She stops and I fill out the application. I turn in the application. I'm super excited. So they didn't call me, y'all. It didn't happen like overnight. So every time, my mom and I would travel through this little town or whatever, I would say, Mama, stop by the Burger King. Let me check on my application. So we made a couple of stops through there. I'm walking in, asking, is the manager available? And they're like, nope, the manager isn't here. So I think it was Saturday. So one particular Saturday, I asked my mom once more to stop by the Burger King so I could check on my application status at Burger King. And she was already like tired at this point. She's like, they probably not gonna hire you. Like, we've been stopping a lot of times and they ain't called you. So I walk in and y'all, I look like Pretty in Pink. I'll never forget. I look super girly. So I go to the front counter and I'm like, hey, I said, hey, is the manager available? My name is Dominique Grissom. I put in an application and I want to work here. So finally I got a yes. The manager was in the office. I was like, can you go get him for me or get her? So I'm waiting at the front counter, y'all. And this skinny white man walks up and he's like, hey, how can I help you? And I'm like, hey, my name is Dominique Grissom. I said, I put in an application like months ago, but nobody hasn't called me, and I've been coming in to check in on my application status, but you're never here. Our manager isn't here. So he was like, hold on one second. I was like, okay. Y'all, this man, this how you know times done changed. This was back where we filled out like paper applications. So this man pulls out this big white box from like underneath the counter, right? And it's like a stack of applications. And I'm thinking in my mind, oh, that's why I ain't heard from him. I mean, look what he got to go through to find an application. So he's searching. I'm just sitting at the counter waiting. And finally, he pulls my application and he's like, oh, there it is. And I was like, yeah. See, I told you, I put it in. He was like, okay. He was like, are you available on such and such date? And I was like, okay, yeah. So I went back and told my mom. I was like, Mom, the manager was finally there. I got an interview on such and such date and time. And I don't remember those details. I'll be honest. I think I was like 16 years old, y'all. So I don't remember the specific details, but I knew it had to be within a time frame that my mom could take me. So I go to the interview or whatever, and y'all, manager is cool as a fan. We in there talking about everything besides Burger King. Like, what's your favorite food? Like, what's your favorite thing on the menu? We just chopping it up, and he's kind of getting a feel for my personality. I think the only thing I remember that man asking me about the job is, how do I feel about customer service? And I'll never forget what I said, because he was like, how do you feel about customer service? Because every customer isn't going to always be nice. You're going to get some mean people sometime. And I was like, well, my mindset is set on I'm here to serve. And he was like, you're hired. So I come outside or whatever. I tell my mama, I'm like, Mom, I got the job. She's like, okay, So anyway, y'all, it became my first day, to come in and serve and, at Burger King for the first time. So the women, and I don't know if it's still that way now, but the women at Burger King, we used to have to work at the front. Like, they wanted you to work the cash register and the drive-through, but I didn't want to do that. I really didn't have the confidence to be in front of people like that. I know in a lot of my videos, you guys hear the word bullying a lot. I was bullied really bad. Like I would say in elementary is where I noticed it the most, but it affected me in my high school years, as well as when I became an adult in my dating life. Like, bullying can really scar you from the words people say to you. So I'll never forget, the manager was like, okay, Dominique, we're going to have you training by this young lady. You got a beautiful face, we want you at the front. And I was like, I don't want to be at the front. And they was like, well, the manager was like, why do you not want to be at the front? Because I came to work as if like I was called to be at the front, right? Like, Burger King had very simple uniforms. Like, I think our shirts were like black and this grayish type of color with the little gold king. And we had to wear like black bottoms and black non-slip shoes. So very simple uniforms, but y'all know me, I'm a girly girl. I'm showing up with ribbons in my hair like I am today, some lipstick or lip gloss, maybe a hot pink tank underneath it. So they clearly see, maybe some bling bling earrings. They clearly see like I'm a little bit different. But I told the manager, I was like, no, I said, I don't think I'll be good at that. And he was like, so you want to work at the back with the guys? And I was like, yeah. I said, that's where I want to go. So he's back there, giving me an overview of the back, was like, see, kind of trying to make me believe that I wasn't qualified or I couldn't do it because I was too girly to be in the back. And he was like, well, okay, this is, let me show you what you're getting yourself involved in. Okay, this is where the greasy areas is. You can easily fall. These are all the dishes that the guys have to clean. This is the grease that we have to clean. He's opening up the freezer. He's like, and this is the freezer. The door could close behind you. And I'm sitting there looking at him like this, like, that don't scare me. I'm like, I know we got some type of protocol where somebody can hold this freezer door and make sure that the door don't close. And I was like, I love y'all food. I love y'all chicken tenders, so I'm okay with being back here, by the food. Speaking, side note, Burger King, I ain't trying to get off topic, but this just literally been on my heart. Can y'all go back to old Burger King? Like, we want the old tenders. We want the two flavors. All we want is Coke and cherry. All this raspberry and this green. And we want the original King back. I want to be able to take my son to Burger King and he get one of those Burger King hats and feel like he a little mini king. Burger King, if y'all see this message, go back to the regular tenders. We do not want these chicken fries that y'all got, and we don't want whatever these chicken nuggets that y'all trying to serve to us now. We want the original tenders. Okay, but staying on topic, y'all. So anyway, he's, basically trying to show me that this is a man, kind of manly job or whatever. And I was like, no, I got it. So y'all, he's like, okay, y'all. He was like, it's settled. Dominique is going to be serving back in the kitchen. So I'm back there, working with a lot of elderly white men, to be honest with you. So I'm back there, working with them, laughing, chopping it up. We making work so much fun, y'all. I'm making burgers. I'm making fries. The dishes get piled up. Don't nobody want to do the dishes. And I'm like, I'll do it. And they're like, you gonna do the dishes with your nails and your little bling sparkly bracelets on? And I'm like, yeah, I do dishes at home. It's just a lot more here, but I know how to wash dishes. So I'm washing the dishes. Nobody really wanted to do clean the lobby because unfortunately, customers, they just don't like to treat lobbies well. They'll make them nasty, but I'm like, I'll do it. So I'm cleaning the lobby, the bathrooms. Oh my God, y'all, the bathrooms, y'all know, unless it's an industry that actually take care of their bathrooms. Bathrooms are no fun to clean, but I'm enjoying serving because I'm serving in a way that I feel confident and I feel comfortable doing it. And my manager, I just never, still to this day, I can't get the expression off of his face when he was just looking like this, like, who is this girl? She come up in here pretty pink and we thinking that she's gonna work the drive-through. We thinking we finna use her for her personality and her girliness at the front counter, and she's back here with the guys. Like, she's back here cleaning the grease, she's back here cooking the food, she's back here, guys, I can go back here and get some more patties out the freezer, just spot me on the door, y'all don't lock me up in here. And oh my God, I remember this being like one of the greatest experiences of my life, y'all, working at Burger King and the crew with the guys. I mean, we made work so much fun. With me being so young and working with elderly people, I think that's where I got my wisdom from today, just hearing their stories and why they were at Burger King and what inspired them to be at Burger King and just all that. But I just kind of wanted to pause and just kind of put the wisdom on top of the story. I feel like it's important for us women, or not only women, this message could also be for a man, but I feel like it's very important for us to know our purpose of where we've been called to serve. I feel like it's important for you to stand flat-footed and not let people judge you for your outside appearance. Like, yeah, I am a girly girl. Yeah, I do look like I don't belong in certain areas, but sometimes you got to show people like, I'm okay with getting down and a little dirty. I'm okay with doing things that people normally wouldn't do because I've been called to serve. And I feel like with working in restaurants now with kids and, even adults that's working in restaurants, don't look at it as like, oh, I'm working at Burger King, I'm working at McDonald's, I'm working at Chick-fil-A. Look at it as I'm serving, bro. Like, you know how much it is for people to say, I don't want to come through the drive-through. I actually want to come in and sit, in your organization and enjoy my meal. To me, that's a blessing because you're keeping whatever you're doing, you must be doing it right. Because if you're, if the outside of the building is dirty, or if the inside of the lobby, the lobby part where people sit, if it's dirty, that means you're not serving well and people don't want to come inside. So the moral of the story is, don't allow people to judge you from the outside. Do your thing. Do what you've been called to do. Prove people wrong. People are going to feel like you're not called to do certain things, or you're not strong enough to do certain things, but you are. And believe it or not, steward over small things. Like, I didn't think God was watching me serving as a teenager and working at Burger King, but he was watching me the whole time. And if you treat it with respect, you'll steady find yourself leveling up. I know as a teenager, it's hard to believe that, man, this little gig ain't nothing. Like, this ain't nothing. It's just a little chump change. But trust me, God sees it way bigger than that. He sees your heart and he sees where you're serving the best way you can. But anyway, y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this little portion of my life and getting to know a little piece of me. And I hope you guys enjoyed these words. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.